Surprise, which is something I've never witnessed, was a light I noticed on the horizon, but it looked as if it were surfacing out of the water and going up. They all executed at the same time, leaving. It's not like three of them left and then one was kind of like a little behind them. No, they were all in sync at the same time.
Just a few hours ago, this shocking account from an enlisted crew member aboard the USS Jackson describing the unexplained incident that he saw himself off the coast of California just last year.
I saw a light, and it was a decently bright light. So when you've been on the water as long as I have, you know the difference between an aircraft carrier's lights, a difference between an oiler's lights, a fishing, a cargo ship. It's what we learn when we freshly come into the Navy, especially as an operations specialist. We have to learn silhouettes, we have to learn lighting structures, things of that nature. It's just part of what our job is. Being senior enlisted, it's become part of very basic elementary things that you have to know when doing your job. Kind of learning the basics first and then, applying what you experience throughout your time and then kind of coming up with your, solution as what you're seeing. So watching this light emerge from the water at a distance and then go into the air with a solid light, no blinking or anything, I've never noticed that and witnessed that ever in my life.
A lot of people joke about it. They're like, no, there are no flying saucers from Mars.
Right.
Well, of course, they're not from Mars. They're
right.
not from another planet. They're from here. They've always been here. These are spiritual entities. This is my view, and I sincerely believe it. Can't prove it. I mean, it's clear that these things reside, deep in the earth, under the water, and in the atmosphere. I do think all the puzzle pieces are sort of in plain sight.
So, what is it?
Yeah.
Right? That's what everybody wants to know. What do you think it is?
So it is a machine that is able to outpace, outmaneuver, and outperform anything that we know of that's been made by technology and terrestrial nations. Now, say what you will about that. I don't know who operates these. Unfortunately, it's not the United States.
How do you know that?
That's a long. How long's your show?
Yeah,
but essentially, it's because we are seeing them, filming them, documenting them. And a lot of people have come forward with me to Congress, including whistleblowers. Unfortunately, these are not black projects of the United States. There's no fingerprint of that in our technological evolution.
So could it be China or Russia or North Korea or some other country?
I'd rather these things be from another planet than an adversarial nation, because if it was an adversarial nation, then their ability to weaponize that technology would be unprecedented. Luckily, we don't see a fingerprint for that. So Russia, China, all these nations have been excluded by the Department of Defense as the individuals making this. So that leaves a big question mark, which we're uncomfortable with. Where is this technology from?
Yeah.
Who is operating it? And what's the intent?
And right now, we don't know the answer to that.
Congress is trying to get the answer to that. People have testified that we reverse engineer NHI, non-human technology. They've testified in front of Congress.
Yeah.
David Grush, Commander David Fravor. If it's true, then the way we understand the world is smaller than it actually is.
And this isn't Antarctica we're talking about. This isn't some far-off land. This is right here. I mean,
Right
look
here.
at where we're talking about here.
And
this is San Diego, Catalina Island, San Clemente Island, obviously Camp Pendleton right there. And this is right in our area.
And this is a pattern of protected areas where things fly with impunity in these restricted airspace. In 2004, the Tic Tac UFO. In 2019, the UFO swarms around 10 Navy warships in this area that I obtained and released with George Knapp. A ton of corroborative visual footage, radar, thermal, IR. This is a pattern, 2004, 2019, and now 2023.
What is it about that area? Did you say it's protected because this is by Camp Pendleton? Is that why?
Well, these are warning areas. Our military is out in this area. It's a restricted area.
Yeah. And so there's a lot of people that live not that far from there that think, okay, so does this mean that aliens' ships are flying above our coast? What do we do about this?
This UFO phenomenon has been here for a long time. This is not something new. It's nothing to worry about, but it is something that we need to face head on, and that's what Congress is trying to do, is get people to get past the stigma so we can know and understand what is this technology and who is operating it and what is the intent.
Now, we're joking on a lot of this, but you actually say this is something we should take seriously. Why?
Well, remember, I live in a state, I live in Las Vegas, and last year we had a 10-foot tall alien in somebody's backyard, and that's a little disconcerting, especially I talked to some police officers here, and they said, you're never going to see the body cam footage that they took in that backyard. So, look, just to take it a little more seriously, we have documentation. There's documents out there that indicate that we've been visited for a very long time, that this is something CIA in Virginia knows all about, and you have to assume that they've been preparing for this, but we don't have any public knowledge of that. I mean, shouldn't we maybe have hearings on considering this eventuality? Because if you just look at what's in the New York Times and the Washington Post the last 7-8 years, it's aliens all the time.
I've never heard Elon say that's not
Be
true.
dismissive.
That there's nothing there. He just said, look,
Right.
we monitor space. That's what they do, right? And this is self-evident. If there have been so many sightings in this country and around the world that if they were from another galaxy far, far away, there would be some satellite evidence of that. They'd be picked up coming into our atmosphere. And of course, that's not, as far as I know, true.
Well, we do have some photos. I mean, there's that one photo of the one, I can't remember. It's in the James Fox documentary. So there are some of those, apparently.
Coming through space in here.
And certainly I've been told there's a lot more of those photos and images. But yeah, I mean, there's
would
also...
not surprise me, though.
Virginia as the best prepared to deal with an alien invasion, with Alabama, in second place, Massachusetts in third, New York in fourth, and Minnesota rounding out the top 5. Okay, I am officially confused. Massachusetts and New York were sanctuaries for illegal aliens. We know how Minnesota handled the mess there in the Summer of Love, and they're all going to save us from actual aliens?
We've talked to you so many times over the years. You're one of the world's leading experts in UAPs and UFOs. So what did this guy see?
Yeah, well, this is an enlisted Navy officer who saw come out of the water what we call UFO or UAP. So he physically saw it come up out of the water. Then he saw it on radar. And this is one of a number of witnesses, but when I obtained and released this footage with George Knapp, people started talking to us, and he had the courage to come forward, which is no problem. He should be able to talk about this. Came up out of the water, sat up there with 3 others, and then all shot off in unison, together, synchronized, almost instantaneously. A UAP.
And so what we're looking at right now, this is Department of Defense footage, right?
Yeah, essentially anything. This is filmed by a Navy warship, right? Yeah. So these are our systems that we use to defend the ship.
Do you feel like Congress and this current administration is taking this seriously?
They said they were. They said that they're going to be transparent. I'm going to hold them to that. This UFO thing has been the most guarded secret, most compartmentalized secret. Anybody on the inside connected to this knows it's true. The question is, why haven't they told the American public? I am hoping the new administration holds themselves to that standard and tells the truth about UFOs to the American public.
Well, it is amazing, the footage and this concept to think about, and we appreciate you for bringing this to light. And look, we're not stating anything necessarily as fact. We're stating what we know as fact, what we don't know as fact. We're raising questions because it's important to have this conversation. You've been leading it for a long time, and it's great to see you in person for the first time.
Thank you so much.